And actually, it's a great pleasure to reach people out there. I know there's a lot of you that starting to realize we can't afford any more wars, that people could live in peace. There's no shortage of anything except human understanding. Modern man that only knows how to make wars of destruction, only knows how to destroy all the nature and all the pollution that you have in this Mother Earth today, in the air and the waters, comes from the mind of a civilized man. If you have a wrong thought, when they invent a machine, it'll smoke, it'll pollute. A greedy thought, a wrong thought, or a machine for war, and it'll pollute. War is the worst pollution you have, that civilized people have amongst them. All honorable men belong to the same tribe.
Rolling Thunder was a legendary Cherokee medicine man. RT had a profound understanding of nature and the universe we live on. As subject of the book Rolling Thunder by Doug Boyd, many people from around the world sought his counsel. We taped these interviews in Carlin, Nevada before his death.
To his neighbors and co-workers in Carlin, Nevada, he was John Pope, a veteran brakeman for the Southern Pacific Railroad. But his family, friends, and tribal brothers and sisters, as well as hundreds of people who witnessed demonstrations of his remarkable healing power, know him as Rolling Thunder, a Native American and heir to the traditional role among his people, that of intertribal medicine man.
Meditate means to go in peace, and that's the way we live. And I want to tell you a little bit about our way of life here. We follow all Indian rules and Indian way of life. This camp is located in the middle, 4 sacred mountains. This mountain to the north is the main one. That's Sacred Mountain there to the north. Also, one to the east. There's a mountain there to the east. It's a sacred mountain too. And then there's to the south, also another sacred mountain. And then to the west, a sacred mountain. This is the kind of place where in the center they built the pyramids and the earth mounds all over this land. There were ancient civilizations here at one time, and they are starting to come back to us. These wiki-ups we build out of willows woven like a basket upside down. They're warm in the winter, cool in the summer. Our people here work hard. We work and build. The work is easy. The pyramids themselves were built the same way. Sometimes people learn to sing when they work. They learn how to make the work easy. So that the pyramids were not built by thousands of slaves, like their teachings, or wrong teachings. They were people built by intelligent people of high intelligence and education, but education in the ways of peace and how to build, how to provide. I'd like to tell you about this land, this Mother Earth that's been corrupted. That there's better ways to live. The way that was known to all ancient peoples around the world. And it'll be coming back again. I know the Druids knew. I know that people of all countries, all races at one time, knew how to live together, work together, sing together. And they knew the ancient ways at one time, just like the American Indian. And that it's possible in this day and time, which is being proven here, although we're not trying to prove anything to anyone. That's been known for thousands of years. But still, we know that the brotherhood of the world and the peace will be reestablished, that we may go through one more war first, and that's all. The last big war they're going to have. We'll go through some hard times, but we're only trying to survive in the way that we know how, and according to the Great Spirit's plan that was laid down for all of us at one time. So that's a message I'd like known to all peoples around the world, that the American Indian is a peaceful people, and that we only want to live in brotherhood and peace with all the other people of the earth. And that one thing that's been forgotten out there in that other world, as we call it, is a respect. And it should start with the Mother Earth. It should start with the plant life, the animals, that we even have to make an offering before we'd take one for food. We get along here with the wild animals, the coyotes to the north of us. I have to go out and make agreement, talk with them, so that they will keep their agreements. They have a tribe and a family. And we have understanding with those animals. We have understanding with these plants that we take for medicine. We have understanding, and yet we're going to have technology to some extent for use, not for greed, not for profit. So that we'll have technology, we'll be going into generating our power from the wind power, and then solar powers, and also running our machines on fuel that we'll make ourselves. There's no shortage of anything except human understanding. Modern man that only knows how to make wars of destruction, only knows how to destroy all the nature and all the pollution that you have in this Mother Earth today, in the air and the waters, comes from the mind of a civilized man. If you have a wrong thought, when you invent a machine, it'll smoke, it'll pollute. A greedy thought, a wrong thought, or a machine for war, and it'll pollute. War is the worst pollution you have, that civilized people have amongst them. And I can tell you, we've been branded as savages. We've been lied about for 200 years now. And actually, it's a great pleasure to reach people out there. I know there's a lot of you that starting to realize we can't afford any more wars, that people could live in peace, and there's much you could have learned from the ancient ones, the ones that have been here in the beginning on this land and some in other lands yet. Wherever the nature has not been destroyed, wherever native people not being made war upon too and killed, that's where your wars start. Starts with your minorities always, so that it's only because you've lost your respect. Many times people have lost respect for their own selves, and so that it has to be reestablished, so that people can have their self-respect. People can live as a free people. But you can only be, you have to start in your own mind and your own heart. And I'd like to see more protests. I don't think any violence is the answer now. It's what we're trying to get away from. I'd like to see more protests in whatever peaceful ways. Respect for other person's religions, other person's beliefs. But it'll have to start with respect for the Mother Earth first. It'll have to start with more understanding and peace of mind with each individual, and extend to the families, the tribes, and the nations around the world. And so I believe that we're doing all right here. No government aid so far of any kind, that we're pulling ourselves up our own bootstraps. And also, we never forget that our mission in this life is to help our brothers and sisters wherever we find them. Wherever we can be accepted or welcome. So it's a good day. The sun rose clear this morning, and so that the air here is pure. 5,000 feet altitude. The water, we have pure water to drink, and we're thankful always for what we have that's good. We're thankful that we're alive in this Mother Earth. But I can tell you too, that our neighbors, the coyotes, the other animals, and even the snakes, we don't regard as enemies. But we don't even have a war dance or war song like they claim we do. Moving pictures, different things. We're peaceful people. We have a victory dance. And victory can be over anything that's bad. Victory can be over a sickness. It can be over hunger. It's a victory when you see someone sick get well. And I can tell you right now, there's sick people, there's sick governments, there's sick religions that have failed their people. But it's good when some of them speak out and get together, like's being done at this conference that I couldn't attend, although I was invited. And it's good to see people of the different nations, as our own tribes have been getting together again in this land. And then we see it spreading to all lands. According to our prophecies, that the peace and brotherhood that the mankind has wanted around the world, it'll start from this land this next time, because it was the same in your lands at one time, a long time ago. And it'll be that way again. It's only a matter of time, so that it'll be that way again. But the American Indian would like you to understand that we've had everything taken care of us. Our people still being made war upon, jailed, killed, denied taking their own native foods. But we know too, there's many others around the world where these bad things are going on. And it should be corrected. There should be a starting point. And I'd say, until people learn to get along among themselves, how can they respect each other? How can they have their own self-respect and keep their treaties and make a peace? And the reason you can't make peace, and all these nations, all those people, they've lost their roots. The thing that's been denied the American Indian. A lot of those people have lost their beginnings. They've lost their contacts. In other words, with the Mother Earth, their contacts with the nature, and only know how to destroy. But there's plenty here for everyone. They talk about overpopulation. There is no overpopulation. If the Great Spirit didn't intend for all of us to be here, They wouldn't have put us here in the first place. We wouldn't be here. So it's absolutely no overpopulation. In this country right here, you can go 100 miles to the north, 100 miles to the south and not see anyone, except the animals. There's no such thing as an overpopulation, even in the big cities. And they still could survive if it's meant to be. Yet I've seen it, the destruction that's coming. A long time ago, I seen it, those cities in ruin. And it's a result also of people, modern people's thinking that they can't get along, but they only have to destroy. So this destruction should be stopped. In other words, people should change their thinking. Every thought, 24 hours a day, every word and every thought is a prayer. If you look at someone with a hostile thought, a bad thought, you can make that person sick. You can make yourself sick because your own reflection will come back to you. So that's why when you meet someone, you should always meet them as a friend and a brother. And how you can help that person to feel, even to feel better, or to get them to smile. That's the thing about it. The people need to feel free to smile and do their own thing, live their own life. There should be no such thing as oppression. There should be no such thing as a lot of restrictions. As long as someone don't infringe upon the right of someone else, then they should be free. They live their own life in their own way, and they should be free not to destroy, but to create. Create, like the pyramids. Create again, and to create good feeling. Create brotherhood. And that's what we talk about. That's what we think about. That's what we sing about. So that this message can spread around the world of how it could be and should be, that there'll be no stopping it. True, we may go through one more big war, the third one and the last one, written on the rock writings, about all these things that'll come to pass before this land can be cleansed again. And so that we may go through hard times, but even so we can make it easier on ourselves. We can survive. The only ones that'll survive anywhere will be those who know the law of the land they live upon, and those who have reestablished that respect among themselves to defeat all the evils that might be swirling around in the other world, that might swirl around you. Not to give in to it, not to go along with it, and to protest when you can any injustice. In other words, don't go off somewhere and sit down or sing or dress up and tell somebody you're a good person, or a spiritual person, I mean, because you're not. If you can at least protest that which you don't agree with. And so if you're unwilling to get together with your neighbors and with other peoples and all nationalities and tribes, then you wouldn't want to call yourself a spiritual person, because you'd be worse than those that are doing the bad things, making the wars and the greed. No one should have to live in fear. No one should have to live only to be misused or exploited. No one should have to be victims of oppression. That there's plenty here for everyone, providing right kind of distribution, right attitude toward what they're doing. When we moved on this place here, even the plants weren't very large. The land was dying. Now we have rain in the summer out here in the desert. And the plants are getting much larger, much thicker. Yet a few miles away up in the high mountains, in the Ruby Mountains, millions of acres of the pinyon nut trees being destroyed. Bulldozer tractors knocking those down by the thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of acres all over the Southwest. Juniper trees in a country where there's not too many trees, and just wantonly destroyed, so a few more blades of grass will grow for sheep and cattle for a few years before it would wash and erode. Indian knew how to take care of this Mother Earth. We knew this. We know the ceremonies, still do, that go with it. And that job was given to us in this land. I know there's still people that have knowledge too, in other lands, other peoples that have knowledge too, of how to take care of the Mother Earth and that make things better for everyone, so there wouldn't be these scarcities of food. There wouldn't be these scarcities of the fish in the oceans and the game, which in this country they reserve for the sportsmen that can pay the tax before they can hunt. And then they want to blame the Indian for what they take small amount for food. And so here we're trying to grow our own food. Already we're raising lots of rabbits, raising some geese and a few chickens, and they multiply real fast here, healthy, and so that we have some also some beehives to furnish our what sweetening we need, because we don't use white sugar. It's part of our religion too, to be healthy. Healthy of body and healthy of mind. And I can tell you people, when you feel good and you got a healthy body and a healthy mind, you don't want to destroy nothing. You feel good enough, you don't hate anyone. And so that's part of it, is the physical and the spiritual works together. And the spiritual is most important. Spiritual comes first, but then also health of body and mind. And so it's part of our well-being. I know there's people call me a medicine man. We don't have any ego trips among the Indians, the traditional Indians, I mean. There's some nowadays that do. It's rubbed off, the civilization, and they break down, argue, quarrel among themselves, but after all, we're just human beings. And actually, we get along much better on the whole among ourselves than what you might call civilized people. I think the word civilization is misused a lot of times. I don't believe that truly civilized people, if the word were used right, would want to destroy anything or make war, or to even kill each other. And so we ought to consider all these facts.
Oklahoma thunderstorm, and berries grow wild and dig it for me, and basket grass cover the hillside.
Meditate means go in peace.
Busy